Hello and welcome to Afternoon Delight. I'm Kate Vega.
I'm Katie Evans.
I'm Molly Davies.
And I'm Kristi Galek.
Hey y'all, Ashley, here's the story for today.
Thanks for watching Afternoon Delight. Today we're going to start by talking about celebrities, of course. And we're going to start off by talking about some newlyweds. Adam Brody and Leighton Meester recently got married after only 3 short months of being engaged, which I think is kind of crazy. They only got engaged this February, while news about their engagement came out this February, and then they recently got married. Adam Brody is from the OC and many other things, of course, a very famous actor. And Leighton Meester, I know her from Gossip Girl and many other different movies and television shows as well. I personally think they're a really cute power couple. What do you guys think about it?
Well, every time I think of Leighton, I think of The Roommate, where she's the creepy stalker.
Yep.
And I think it was Rebecca Evans was her name, and she just, every time I can't get over it. I know she's probably a sweet girl, but every time I see her, I'm like, no, they can't go together. She's the creepy stalker. So
She was
I don't
very
know.
scary in that movie.
Yes.
I can't get past it with her. It's the only thing I know her from, and I don't know him from anything. So I think they're really cute together, but I just can't get past her being the roommate.
I agree. That's all I know her from as well. So I just picture her with like the dark makeup and like creepy. Like the scenes in that movie were so weird. And she was like, what was that one scene we were talking about? She like she like broke her ear and like
the
some
belly button
piercing.
ring,
Oh yeah,
yes.
she had a belly button piercing and just ripped it through, and like it was just such a like weird movie. And so I can't really see her other than that. But I mean,
I think
she's
you guys
really pretty. I don't know. I think they're probably a great couple.
You probably need to look up a couple different other movies.
Our reference point isn't really.
Yeah, it's probably not the best thing to base all of your knowledge off of. She's really a sweet girl, I think. Probably not
sure.
I hope so.
Sure.
I hope so.
Probably not ripping out any belly button rings in real life. But
And also, wasn't he in Adam Brody? Wasn't he in Mrs. and Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
Yeah.
Oh.
Where he was like the guy that had the chip in his belt, and he had a.
he's a really goofy actor. I like him. I think they're really cute together. He is quite a few years older than her, though. He's 34 and she's 27.
Yeah,
but
I feel like she does seem pretty.
that's
young,
okay.
but-
I've seen pictures of them online, and they're so adorable together, so I'm really happy. And just, I think of them from my middle school and high school days of watching the OC every afternoon and then Gossip Girl right after. So to see them together, it's like 2 of my favorite TV characters, getting married in real life. So
That's classic. 2 actors getting together and getting married. So typical.
So what other celeb news have you guys heard about recently?
Well, last Sunday was, I don't know if any of you guys watched, the ACMAs, 2014 ACMA Awards, and I watched the whole thing. I'm a huge country music fan, so I thought it was a great show. A lot of buzz from the whole show was based on Blake Shelton and Luke Bryan, who were the co-hosts, and in the picture you see there, they actually really put a twist on the start of the night and came out dressed as Daft Punk. And which obviously doesn't have anything to do with country music, all like electronic music. So it really created like a stir for the fans, and no one really knew what was going on. So that was very entertaining, I thought. And then from there on, all the performances were great. T Swift performed, Lady Antebellum, Eric Church, some of the awards. George Strait won Entertainer of the Year, so that was great. Miranda Lambert and Keith Urban also received top honors on the show. And Florida Georgia Line won a huge award. I love them. So I don't know how you guys feel about country music, but
Oh, I love Florida Georgia Line.
Yeah.
I listen to them almost every day.
yeah.
With the country twang.
I saw them in concert last summer, and I thought they were
did you?
great, but I didn't watch the ACMs, but I voted for T Swift for Entertainer of the Year multiple times. A little sad she didn't win, but that's okay.
Yeah, I also, the outfits that a lot of the ladies wore on the show were just phenomenal. I thought they were so gorgeous, and T Swift was rocking it. She had like a white gown on, and Carrie Underwood. So many things going on that I thought were awesome on the ACMAs this year.
I think that's pretty funny that they came out with their Daft Punk outfits on.
Yeah.
Really threw people off like that. They are pretty funny guys, so I'm not surprised. And there's been a lot of things going on with celebrity hosts at the event and like award shows this year with, you know, Ellen and the whole tweeting and ordering pizza and now them coming out dressed as Daft Punk. I think there's kind of almost like a rivalry, like competition between like the celeb host to do
Different
like the
genres of
next
music.
big thing.
You definitely have to try and top what the person before you did on the show. Otherwise, it's just not a monumental
Gotta
show.
add the little
Yeah.
flair and spice to your.
They can't just come out and host a show anymore. It's like you have to do something crazy or people aren't going to talk about it, which, I mean, I guess that's what it's about, is getting people to watch the show, so good for them, but...
Yeah.
Which is kind of hard, but with the looks that Luke Bryan has, you know, he
And-
could probably get away with anything.
Oh, yeah. So true.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Comes
Their
to
looks, you don't even have to do
tutu,
anything.
and he'd be
Right.
great looking. I'd be
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh,
Right.
you're handsome.
Just don't cover your face up and it's
No,
fine.
which he did this year. He did cover his face.
Yeah, I know. That's why
So, I
everyone's
mean-
like, what are you doing? I'm
But
sure.
when it came off, it was still like,
Yeah.
oh, my heart melted.
Yeah.
It was great.
No kidding.
You said that Taylor Swift didn't win the Entertainer of the Year?
She didn't. She was in the top. She was nominated for it. So
And
she was up there.
Do you know who won?
Who did win? Not Lady Antebellum. Who
For
am I
George
blanking?
Strait, was it?
Was it
No,
Carrie
it was
Underwood?
Miranda Lambert.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which I think
Oh.
she's great too.
Yeah.
She's really talented. So I wasn't upset about it. I just love all country singers, so I was like pumped throughout the whole thing. But
I'm not a big Taylor Swift fan, so honestly,
oh, come on.
sorry.
I'm not that upset that she didn't
She
win.
has a lot of haters, but
is
I
great.
love
I'm not
her.
a
I love
hater
her.
necessarily, but I'm just definitely not a fan.
Not her biggest fan.
So I think kind of her days might be over. I
Oh
don't
no!
No,
Oh, no.
Gone. She is at her prime
Yeah,
right now.
I think
She
so.
is continuing.
She keeps winning, so
I
it's
know.
like there's no slump at this point for her.
And not only she's winning in country, she's winning in all
pop
genres.
and
like
yeah.
she is unstoppable right now.
She is.
Well, what else is going on in celeb news? Did you guys hear that Jeffrey Dahmer's childhood home, not the one here, because he is from Wisconsin originally, not the home here in Wisconsin, but the one in Ohio, is up for sale right now. And there's some pretty interesting things going around in the news about it. First of all, there's, of course, a lot of buzz going around about the house being up for sale because this is the home not only that he lived in from his early elementary ages up until he was 18 and through his parents' divorce and all of that, but this is also the home where he committed his first murder. And so there's a lot of bad things going on with the house, and people don't think maybe it should be up for sale. A lot of people think maybe it should be turned into like a museum. A lot of people think it should be torn down. What do you guys think about this house?
I'm superstitious, so I wouldn't do it. I couldn't do
You
it.
wouldn't buy the house?
No, oh no, no way.
Would you visit the house?
Oh, I'd visit it just because I like that kind of stuff. I like being scared and thrilled,
Yeah,
so.
that's one thing, but to live in a house after
Yeah.
that, I don't know. And it seems so recent. It wasn't that long ago, you know. So it's like, yeah, I can't imagine.
I was reading up on it too, and the guy that bought their house after that, he said he was actually more into the woodwork of the house and not
Yeah.
the fact that, well, he wasn't superstitious like I was, but he said that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're okay, like go for it. I'm sure it's like a crafty house. I mean, whatever you're into.
It
but
is actually a really nice house. If you look at pictures of it online, but there's a lot of other drama related to it.
Well, plus, would you want to be that person that owns the house of that previous, you know, someone that
Yeah.
killed people? I don't know. I wouldn't.
Definitely not. I know their current owner said, if you can get past this little problem, you'll have a wonderful place to live. So
Yeah.
Well, on that
things.
note, we will be right back after this quick look at some adorable perfect pets at the Cooley Region Humane Society.
Meet Calliope, a 2-year-old female kitty that is full of energy but knows when it's time to relax. Meet China, a 4-year-old pit bull terrier mix who loves to play and can't wait to say ni hao. And here's Rutgers. He's a gentle 6-year-old Siamese cat who's always looking for some lovin'. And meet Packer, a 6-year-old terrier who's always on the run but always makes time for his fans.
To find out more about adoption for these pets or others, contact the Cooley Region Humane Society at 781-4014.
Welcome back to Afternoon Delight. Well, we are still talking about how Jeffrey Dahmer's house is up for sale right now. What I think is especially weird, well, it is a gorgeous house. I looked at pictures online, and really, just looking at pictures, you wouldn't know that anything happened there until you read into the history of this house. And it is where he committed his first murder. And not only did he murder someone in the house, but he buried the body in the backyard. So if you are a superstitious person, you probably don't want to live in this house. And I think they probably are going to have a lot of problems selling it. However, I did hear that PETA, the animal rights activist group, is interested in buying it, and they want to convert it into a vegan restaurant.
Oh, no.
What do you guys think about that?
Oh no! I just can't. I can't see that working out.
Just the fact that, you know, he lived in Akron, Ohio, I believe. He killed his first person there, and he was a hitchhiker.
Yeah.
And then he moves to Wisconsin. And then he kills 16 more people. And that whole, like, story, the whole genre of it just creeps me out. And then you want to go put pets in there and make it a vegan restaurant? Sorry, no, don't, no.
Oh, and I feel like they would have so many problems having a lot of people want to go there, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Because people are going to know about it, so it's like, well, let's go out to eat. Where do you guys want to go? Well, let's, go to the house people were murdered, like, or from the man. It's like,
I just don't understand, like, PETA, the animal rights activists, so they're against eating or killing animals, but they want to open a vegan restaurant, so not serving any meat or products like that are cruel against animals, in a home where someone, a notorious, like, serial killer and cannibal murderer committed his first... Who thought that was a good idea?
Seems a little backwards, a little bit ironic.
It seems kind of morbid to me. I don't know what PETA was thinking, and I don't think that the owner's probably not going to sell it to them, but maybe...
She hasn't followed through or anything, has she?
He's not really, he hasn't followed through with it, but I think just because it became such a big news story, maybe it's good publicity. I'm sure he's getting some pretty crazy offers. I'm sure probably some weirdos coming to check out the house.
Have some sort of sick want to invest in that.
I know the real estate agent said that he was not open to giving tours to anyone who just wants to see the house, that they had to be a serious person wanting to buy it. So I doubt that he would sell it to someone wanting to make a restaurant out of it, because he doesn't want it to be a museum type thing.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
Well, I personally think they should maybe just tear it down, but we'll see. We'll follow up on that.
At least wait a little bit. I don't know. Give it a little more time.
We'll see what happens. So what else is going on in celeb news right now?
I was thinking, honestly, I want to get away from that whole creepy genre of Jeffrey Dahmer. For some reason, I was thinking about coffee, Caribou Coffee, actually. And actually, they just started this little April Fool's prank. And what happened was, they said that Caribou Coffee is coming out with a clear coffee. The thing is they weren't. Joke's on you. So what do you think about that?
Well, I actually pulled up the email because I get the Caribou emails to my personal account like every day, other day, every 3 days, and it's like an upgrade to my coffee or telling me about new products they have, because I love Caribou. I'm from Minnesota, so of course I represent Caribou Coffee. and so I was sitting in class and I showed Katie, actually, hey, look at this. Caribou Coffee is introducing this new clear roast, and we talked about it.
Of course we believed it. Oh, no
we
questions
talked about it for
asked.
probably a good 10-15 minutes. Like, one, how is that possible? Where did the color go? And then we're like, well, it's kind of smart. They were saying it doesn't stain your teeth.
Cool, you know?
What a modern invention. Like, way to go, Caribou Coffee. And I literally didn't find out that it was an April Fool's Day prank until today when I looked it up online, and someone said, you do know that was an April Fool's Day joke, right? And I was like,
that's embarrassing. The fact that we didn't question it, I was like, oh, this is awesome,
Well, I mean, why would we question it? Like, you see something, like, there were so many April Fool's pranks. I didn't see it till the day after April Fool's, so I was like, so it's not an April Fool's joke. And then I looked into it a little bit further, and I was like, there has to be so many chemicals in that for that to be clear coffee. That can't be real. And I was like, okay, joke's on me. I definitely thought
I wonder
it was
how
real.
many people actually went into Caribou and tried ordering clear coffee.
Oh, how embarrassing would that be? Hi, can I try your guys' new coffee?
No, I thought about it because when I went back to Minnesota for the weekend last weekend, I originally thought, like, oh, I'm going to get this when I go home. No, I wasn't getting it.
Oh my gosh! Wow,
Funny.
good thing you
Yeah,
found
I've heard
out.
of a lot of April Fool's jokes, though, that became very, very big this year.
Yeah,
What else was there?
Well, I was really surprised that a company would do it first of all, and that they went that far to send like the email, because I didn't doubt it. If I get an email from a company, I'm not going to doubt it. You know, Caribou's, they're not going to fool me.
It's like
but
pretty official when you get an email.
yeah, now I'm going to start to question things. I also did hear about a video that went viral. Did anyone see the
Yeah.
teacher who got pranked?
The pregnancy class. So a little bit about that. It was a teacher, a college professor makes students answer their phone on speaker if it goes off in class. So the class had planned this joke for the teacher that they would have someone's phone go off during class, and it would be like a pregnancy options center calling to tell a girl that she was in fact pregnant. And the teacher was so embarrassed, and then at the end of it, the girl who got the phone call was like, yes, I decided I was going to name, first name is April, middle name is Fools, and the class and the teacher like just blew up laughing. It was very funny.
I did watch it earlier today, and I laughed out loud. You could just tell by the teacher's face. He puts his paper up and hides his face, and he's just like so ashamed and embarrassed, and he just had no idea that was coming. And the fact that the whole class was in on it, I think is so funny. And he even admits at the end, like, you guys got me. Like, I think he said something
Extra
like,
credit for
extra credit points for creativity or something like that. So I think it's really cool that he actually could take the joke and he wasn't mad about it.
I was
too.
impressed just how good her acting was.
Yeah.
I was like, she seemed so serious, and then she was like relaxed about it, but still like, yeah, I've been dealing with this or whatever. You know, she's commenting as she's getting this serious phone call, and you know, you see the professor in the back just like covering his face as he's like feels so bad. Like,
I want
what do
to
you
publicly
say?
apologize.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I can't believe no one else in the class started laughing. That would have been, I would have given it
kidding.
away.
Yeah, I would have been snickering in the back, just had to like turn around or something. Yeah. Well, let's take a quick break here and roll on to Perfect Pets, and we'll be right back.
Meet Calliope, a 2-year-old female kitty that is full of energy but knows when it's time to relax. Meet China, a 4-year-old pit bull terrier mix who loves to play and can't wait to say ni hao. And here's Rutgers. He's a gentle 6-year-old Siamese cat who's always looking for some lovin'. And meet Packer, a 6-year-old terrier who's always on the run but always makes time for his fans.
To find out more about adoption for these pets or others, contact the Cooley Region Humane Society at 781-4014.
Speaking of pregnancy, did you hear that the Mets player, he actually got criticized for staying an extra 3 days with his wife while she was in labor after birth?
And it wasn't even an extra 3 days. It was like the 3 days of paternity leave that all Major League Baseball players are entitled to when their wives are pregnant or, going into birth. And so he was criticized by the Boomer and Carton radio show. They said, quite frankly, I would have said C-section before the season starts. I need to be at opening day. And I just think that that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, they definitely should not have said something like that about him being a good parent. What do you think about it?
That's definitely a very controversial subject, because, you know, the whole professional sportsman, you know, conduct with that, like, oh, you have expectations in that subject, but it's also like, okay, you're going to be a father, you know, what do they expect? You have to be a good dad in that. So I thought it was completely legitimate.
Not only that, it's his first child. Like, he wants to be there for that.
Yeah.
Let him be there.
Yeah.
You know, they criticize men for taking care of, you know, their children, but it should be the other way. You know, they should work together
Should
on
be
that.
very even.
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
disagree that, you know, only the woman, you know, I was watching Mike and Mike. I don't know if some of you are familiar with that on ESPN, but they were talking about how when they were there, and they're not professional players, that, you know, he went in and he's like, yeah, my wife and I talked about it, and she said it was fine, I can go to the show. And then the other Mike's like, you know what, actually I talked about it, I didn't want to be there, I didn't want to go to my show, I wanted to be there for my wife's birth. So it's interesting to get those perspectives of the men and
the different,
see how they feel about it. What did you think, Katie?
I think it's interesting because the wife, I mean, she didn't have the option to go to work that day. She's obviously in labor, and then for a while now she's going to be having to care for that baby. And it's ridiculous that people think that the husband shouldn't be there, especially he needs to be there for his wife. And I guess it really depends on your values, whether you put your career first or your family first. Personally, I think your family should come first before your career, so he should be there for his wife and his child before his career. Granted, I mean, he does probably make a lot of money, and that was a very important game, but why should your career come before your family and, like you said, your firstborn child?
I definitely think that should be first priority, too.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it wasn't like he was taking a whole month off or anything like that.
It wasn't even 3 extra days.
Yeah,
just 3 days.
like the day the child was born and what the day after, and maybe the day after that. Like that's
Yeah, the
understandable.
child was born on a Monday, and then he stayed for that, and then Tuesday, I think he had a game Monday and Wednesday, I could be wrong.
Yep.
But then he wanted to go back. You know, he wanted to stay those total of 3 days instead of playing his
Very
2
little.
games, but he missed 2 games, so it's kind of like, you know.
Just bad timing in general, really.
Yes, I mean, well, the baby came out of it, you know.
Yeah,
That's
you can't
great.
control that.
Yeah, you definitely can't control that, and it's a C-section. That's a major abdominal surgery. Like his wife definitely did need him to be there at least for the few days that they were. I think that 3 days is actually probably pretty short when you have a child. So
You need that
it's a little
support.
ridiculous.
Speaking of sports, also, I don't know if any of you watched the NCAA tournament, but last night it was a heater. Oh my gosh, I loved it. I loved the atmosphere, the energy. We had a 7 and an 8 seed, which hasn't happened, I don't believe, in the history of sports. Connecticut versus Kentucky. And then we have right there that picture, Sabaz and Boatwright, the 2 star players. Actually, in the end, the final minutes, he rolled his ankle, I believe. And oh my gosh, he's just like, you know what, I want to keep playing. This is my final game. I want to be here. I want to be here for the team. And I like that. I like that he had that energy. I know when I used to play basketball, it was like, suck it up, go play. You want to play this game, you love the game, go do it. So it was a heater. And not only that, and then Kentucky is the first team in 76 years to win 4 games in a row by 5 points, which a lot of people don't take the credit for Kentucky. I thought that was interesting. Who did you want to win, UConn or Kentucky? What do you think?
Yeah, I guess I had 2 of my roommates that were super into with the brackets and everything, and they both had Kentucky finishing. So I was just kind of going with them and wanting Kentucky too. But I agree. I thought it was a great game. I wasn't as into it. I just was going for Wisconsin, obviously. But I did watch a little bit of it, and it did seem like a very good game.
Even if that Wisconsin did put up a fight too.
Oh,
Yeah.
they had a
Definitely
great
did.
season.
Right down to the
Great
last
season.
second.
I don't really follow sports, but I mean, it's kind of hard not to when you're in a college town, especially living in Wisconsin. So I saw all the news stories and immediately on Facebook and everyone's Twitter feeds and everything is just blowing up about it. So it's kind of hard to avoid it. I didn't personally watch any of the games, but I heard a lot
Oh, come
about
on,
it.
Kate. None of the Wisconsin games.
I'm from Minnesota. I don't watch
that's a
Wisconsin
bit of it.
games.
Yeah.
I have no reason to watch that. I mean, I'm pretty excited that it is baseball season. I'm going to start to watch some of those games.
Tailgating,
Yeah.
hot dogs,
Yep.
brats. Oh, I can't complain. Bago. Oh, I love Bago. But moving on to another topic we got here, we got Ingrid Iverson. I don't know if you've heard the late news, but she's actually going against the gendered norms. And she actually, I think, got the original video, Simply Irresistible, you know the one that goes, Simply Irresistible,
Great
from
song.
Robert Palmer. And yeah, she put a remake of it, and actually I think we do have a clip of it if they want to play it here pretty soon. We'll give it a shot in a couple of seconds. But yeah, it's a 1988. Oh, okay, I just kept going because I didn't know.
Yeah.
Alrighty. And Ingrid Michaelson, I apologize for that, my error. Also, she also said in a bold emphasis that no matter who or how we love, we are all the same. And I thought that was very genuine. What do you think about this video?
Yeah, I definitely think that it goes against the gender roles and what's normal in our society to have men in the background dancing as opposed to women. I thought it's almost a little bit empowering for women to not have to be put in those roles at all times anymore. So I like the way our society's moving.
Yeah, I definitely thought the video really said a lot. It was simple, I thought, but also very powerful. It said a lot, and it was, you know, just with all the guys and the lipstick and dressed up, it was just and then it kind of got more provocative during the middle and ending of the video, and I just thought it really kind of said a lot. What about you think? What did you think, Kate?
I liked it. I actually didn't know that it was kind of based off of that earlier music video until you told me that earlier, so that's really interesting, and it's definitely cool that like the artists are starting to, you know, push the norms and definitely having videos that are bringing out messages and not just kind of for entertainment and having, you know, people shaking it in the background. But we will be right back after this quick break with a UWL promo.
At the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse, surround yourself with potential. Surround yourself with lifelong friends. Step on campus and be welcomed with a friendly smile. It's just like home. Surround yourself with nature's beauty. Nestled in western Wisconsin's driftless area, it's perfect for learning. Hike the bluffs, bike the marsh, soar. Surround yourself with challenging academics. Our motto is Men's Corpus Gang, Latin for mind and body. Experience a whole education. Conduct research. Surround yourself with distinction. Surround yourself with UW-La Crosse.
Hello, welcome back to Afternoon Delight. So we were just talking about some Ingrid Mickelson's video where she went against social norms. Another commercial that did, or a commercial that did that recently, was Honey Maid. They have their wholesome commercial. We also have that. If they want to pull that up for us. It features a gay couple, a dad with tattoos, a single father, an interracial family, and a military couple.
No matter how things change, what makes us wholesome never will. Honey Maid. Everyday wholesome snacks for every wholesome family. This is wholesome.
So that commercial was in response to a Coca-Cola commercial that was at the Super Bowl. They were building off of it, trying to make less normal families by social standards into a greater light in our society. So what do you guys think of that?
I actually, again, I didn't realize that they were building off of that Coca-Cola commercial. And initially, when the Coca-Cola commercial came out, I was more so focused. That was the one when they sang one of the, was not the national anthem, but, or the Star Spangled Banner. One of,
In all the different languages?
Yeah. And everyone was really upset, and there was a bunch of publicity and stuff in the media about they were really upset that they had people singing a song about America in different languages. But then, at the same time, no one realized that the commercial was actually like portraying messages about all the different types of family structures that we have now.
And the stereotypes.
Yeah, I didn't realize until I watched it back, and actually my mom sent me an article about it, and then I picked up on that. And to now see that another company is doing the same thing is just like wonderful, I think. And it's really interesting also that they're, you know, pushing the button and
trying to break these kind of stereotypes and roles that they, you know, that we have in society. I think it's awesome too.
Yeah, I think it's kind of, I mean, a little overdue that they're finally doing that, but
Not only that, it's become normal. Those, you know, societal norms are normal now.
Right.
You know, okay, you have a dad with tattoos, who cares? You know, like, it's amazing. You know, our societies, I feel like it's growing a lot, but there's still a lot to be done, you know, in that aspect. But another roll off that point, you know, wholesome graham crackers. Oh, I love me some graham crackers. But how about Taco Bell? I know we were talking about, I think it was last week we talked about that
a little
topic.
bit.
the Taco Bell recently came out with their breakfast menu. There's some normal things on there, you know, like hash browns and breakfast burritos. But the one thing that's kind of weird that they have is the what are they? Waffle tacos?
Oh, yeah.
Tacos?
Waffle tacos.
Yes. And I think that's very interesting, first of all. And they made a pretty funny comment about Taco Bell having breakfast in Canada.
Yes.
What was that?
So the owner, his last name is Nicole. He was on the Reddit Ask Me Anything online chat during the debut of the Taco Bell breakfast, and somebody from Canada asked, when is this coming to Canada? To which he responded, when you take Justin Bieber back. So I thought that was pretty funny, and he's gotten a lot of, well, not criticism, but a lot of attention for saying it, which I think is due for saying something like that.
Justin Bieber's just nuts now, though.
I'm
He
sure it
doesn't have his
created a
stuff
lot
together.
of laughter and then a little criticism from the still Bieber fans.
I think
but
that's hilarious.
Yeah,
First of all,
I
it's
think
one
it
of
is
the
too.
funniest things I've
Yeah.
heard all week.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty interesting idea. Obviously, he's reaching outside the box, and there are a lot of fast food restaurants that have breakfast. I personally never thought Taco Bell would be one of them, but I guess, especially here in La Crosse, having it right by campus, maybe it's convenient for them to have breakfast. I just don't see many people thinking, you know, I want some fast food breakfast and I'm going to go to Taco Bell and get a waffle taco. But, you know, hey, if you're...
I don't know. I'd probably try it. Not gonna lie.
What do you think about chicken waffles?
Yeah, the
by
chicken
chance?
waffle, I don't know about that. The
I'm
combination
not
of
sure.
a waffle and pieces of chicken might be a little too much for me, but
Did you know that there's actually two types of chicken waffles I was reading up on? There's a Pennsylvania-styled waffle, which actually includes the waffle with pulled stew or chicken, and then sometimes they put gravy on there.
Oh.
What do you think of that? Do you think that sounds good or
it
no?
just, like you said before, it kind of reminds me of biscuits and gravy, which I think would be okay.
I guess so.
Honestly, I just think everyone is kind of just doing the next big thing. You know, restaurants are reaching outside the box. Celebs are dressing up in crazy outfits. Everyone's doing what they can to get the media to talk about them. So that's all we have for today for Afternoon Delight. Thank you so much for tuning in, and tune in next week.
It's been a pleasure.